Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na number 3 day for this month of April 2022. My name na Capo, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Governing Council, the Anti-Kidnapping Czar, aka Sense Pass King. Background music now from Spice Water. Una welcome for our daily podcast, a program where we bring meaningful information, evidence-based, facts-based analysis for help we navigate this journey to our liberation, independence, freedom for the people of the British Southern Cameroons. For all those, our mommy them, our papa them, where they go for church today, make una put we for prayer, una put Ambazonian soldiers, their freedom fighters for prayers. May God he bring the victory quickly. We will start with news and update for the epidemic for cholera, where it strike the Atlantic state for Ambazonia. We then get information and update from the doctors them that they talk say over 60,000 registered patients them that can be infected with the bacteria, and so far over 130 people that can be confirmed dead. This statistic it be important for note say na the one way na for doctor them where they see for hospital. According to our estimate, the pandemic it be twice less reported as many people them they remain for house, so one they seek treatment now for traditional doctors them. So most of the cases them they not actually go for hospital. The epidemic it then begin to recede as more and more people them they then be released from the quarantine where they be quarantined for hospital. For inside Tico, most of the patients them too they then go back for house, and for inside the great city of Victoria, the same thing it then happen. My fellow country people, when I know say when they come for sick, you need to get boundary, you need to respect law, you need to respect war. So would they expect all man for do it best? We then see say the director for Cameroon, the colonial Ministry of Health, will be in charge of epidemic, Madame Linda Esu. He own statement them way it make them for the international community. Now say the epidemic it then strike Yaoundé, Douala, and the Western Commercial and Bafoussam, and then they add city like Buea and Victoria. They not even mention Tico, where the show say they prepare for divert resources than where the international community go gam for mitigate the condition the way it create this epidemic in the first place for those their city them. We never get no report, no record say anybody then be sick with the cholera as a result of the epidemic for Douala, Yaoundé, and Bafoussam where they mention where people then go always they suffer, meaning that they enjoy. Even for inside the situation like an epidemic, they go see use them like a way for get aid where you go now for their own hospital, and also for get hospital toilet them for help them. They don't come for inside Victoria, they never build toilet, they don't carry money, go build a stadium. This epidemic when as a result of poor hygienic condition, now a big reflection for the reality of Ambazonians them. Even for inside Victoria, they go get seaport, they go get a whole football stadium, but they no go get public toilets. We go back for Bamenda. Last week, the Ambazonian Defense Forces them for Bamenda, the Bamenda Brigade, they arrest a worker where they work for Hezekam because of their failure for pay liberation tax for last year. The last quarter of last year, Hezekam ABB taxed 10 million CFR as a liberation tax as they operate for our country. Hezekam na a company where they for business for make their money. Now a French Cameroon company will be tied to one of the big family them where they benefit from this exploitation for our territory. Then be tied directly to Mr. Paul Biya in Domut. Ezeka Ebibi informed for stop all their unauthorized activity them for inside Ambazonia. Yesterday, they decide for bring one of their truck for inside church center, while them put the Cameroon military for junction. The vehicle enter, the vehicle will be confiscated and will be destroyed as a result. This one a message for all other company the way they operate for inside Bamenda, multinational company, them big importers for inside Bamenda. Me they know say for across Ambazonia, me they know say tax na tax, it no be negotiable. You will pay your tax. Otherwise, your company could pay a high price for working illegally without authorization. No be a matter of debate, na a matter of law. You pay the tax. And for everybody where they work for company where they never pay tax, no say you will be here responsible as a representative for that company. When that day you will come, no come out complain say you be jobbing a only worker. We will consider you as a representative of that company. We will consider all the company property, including their house, their logistics. May they know say they will be considered as all part of the companies. For good news also, yesterday, the Fontaine's warrior, that means say the forces within day under Captain Savior. Captain Savior, now the group where ADF will be make peace with them for inside Gozang, the former TTA general, where they be make an oath with we, it then carry out a successful IED attack yesterday.
Today, the 2nd of April 2022, this one are the Photon warriors there, under the canopy of General Savior.
We congratulate them for that great showing for this launching, and we'll continue for support them and for encourage them as a sister force. This one it just come at the dawn of a major operation carried out by the ADF reinforcement we enter for inside Kitunja together with the forces, sister forces. Then they for the way they don't come back for begin work with we for carry out a complete raid for the hideout for the Fulani herdsmen, the way they bring them from Nigeria, the place where they use them as a place for stay and place for keep prisoners, them would then raise them down to dust. Why for inside our colonial master house for La Republique, they be announced people they be fee say be been a April Fool. Her Cameroon government it then suspend one of the director for Equinox. Equinox it then been a TV station where it be almost independent. It always broadcast facts and open to debate, where they bring the people them some reality from the propaganda the way they see them for CRTV. They then suspend 2 of their crucial member them for over 1 month. Some Cameroonian they be fee say na a prank for April Fool. They then realize and say actually La Republique to Cameroon na a place where they no be tolerant for journalism, they no be tolerant for the truth. They will always continue for be that way. My fellow country people, this time we go turn up for way to way the birds for inside Ambazonia. Ambazonian people them say be in shock with the continuous disinformation campaign of Mr. Christopher Anu. Christopher Anu na a pastor where he be joined this liberation as a journalist, and he become one of the communicators for Seseko Ayok Tabi. And when Sako he be taking like his own spokesperson before he can fire he, and then create their own new group. Chris Anu he then go on air for still continue the misinformation where he be far from reality for way to a plenty Ambazonian then no. I will bring a excerpt of those audios and I will make a statement then they based on facts for our people them for no way to way they go on. But first, just to give him some small credit, he said some things that are true. So we will start with the good ones before we go for the bad ones.
Gentlemen, there is no doubt that he has fighters on the ground. We have seen them. We have heard of the Efangs and so on and so forth. They are good at the social media. They are good at propaganda. They are good at photo ops, ladies and gentlemen.
So Chris Anu, he give credit for we so be good at social media, be good at propaganda, and be good at follow-ups. Those are some critical tools you use in a war. Propaganda is a tool of war. Social media is a tool of war. That is why Pobia he closed up internet when he start to launch this war. That is why dictators and butcher regimes like the genocidal regime in Yaoundé are afraid of free speech. We are not just good in communication. As a matter of fact, the communication team of the Ambazonia Governing Council is the best. There is no comparison in terms of articulation. There is nobody who can articulate for our people and with substance and value like our communication team made up of Lucas Asu, myself, your humble servant, Pascal Kiki, Shea Kavi Wemeleng, Mama Najela, Mama Wali, Dr. Abu Frida, Woman of God. The list go on and on. Amazonian people then fit testify for that. In the past, we don't get communicators where they give our people information based on feeling, emotions, not based on substantial calculation for our independence. We need to know, as Dr. Chua Yaba talk and the Governing Council, the whole idea of Cameroon occupation and subjugation, it be predicated on certain facts we will need for change them. If you look at, for example, the liberated area, they would then kick out Cameroon, their military forces. In those areas, there no need for be much actions. If we will be misled by social media, emotions, or popularist activists, we will tend for be focused for say liberation na a chaos. So it make our forces that be influenced by social media chaos. Then feel say if noise no day, means a war it don't finish. But actually, it not be like it's not supposed to be that way. That way, it is stress our soldiers and it put them under strain and make them for make unnecessary mistake. And it don't put a lot of soldiers that may die as a result of poor concept of the whole idea of activism and journalism during wartime. Liberated areas we need for focus for rebuild and fill the space where the Cameroon military it don't leave them, where the administration they don't leave them for those areas. All our activism, all of our journalism, it need to be geared towards supporting an effective roadmap where you go help for lead our people for liberation and for educate them and for emancipate them from the effect of this period of colonialism, not just noise and empty, baseless propaganda like the Chris Anu Idimekam take videos from Congo, purportedly try for show them as action will be taken by Chacha and for make flimsy claims unfounded and lies about actions carried out by Field Marshal. One day declared in say Field Marshal idan key 500 people. Mark Barata at some time he come out for cover up those lies. He could talk say Cameroon government that they use some chemical for throwing for the dead body, they made them vaporize them. All those lies, it mislead our people. It give them a hope where it not be based on facts. If you go right back to Seseko, the time we want announce the reiteration of our independence, people they be enough for fully for talk say they made the people then rise up because the United Nations it could come intervene. That one lie we believe say come out now for influence them from La Republique where they be deceiving for make that statement. That statement alone it will be used even by Cameroon government for convince researcher them say our fighting it be based on false hope. So we need to always make sure so we'll be truthful. Where everything we do may be based on tangible progress, tangible roadmap where we lead for our freedom. Not be just noise, not be just shooting for shooting's sake, not be just unnecessary killing. But we'll get action the way it's supposed to be guided by leadership towards a specific goal, and that is what exactly we do in the Ambazonian Governing Council. For the next two things the way Mr. Christopher Anu talk, we'll go respectfully address them as follows.
It's what unity is all about. At this moment, when we have this mutual distrust of one another, the idea of bringing fighters, especially of the ADF and the ARF, working together is a no-go. It's a no-go idea.
So, first of all, Chris Anu is done for America. He talks about the idea for bring in the ADF and the ARF for unite na no-go idea. This is news flash for Chris Anu. There is already collaboration on the ground. I think say maybe Chris Anu will not be informed, but I think say all man he don't see how our forces them for inside the great state of Momo, they don't come together, taking oath for collaborate with each other. The ARF forces and the ADF would also see them for Bui how they then create the Bu Unity Warrior joint platform for collaborate with each other. Either Chris Anu not be informed of what did happen, or he be out of touch with the soldiers and not get any influence over them, or he not get no command and control over them and just be frustrated. But the reality on the ground is that there is collaboration. Our people should be rest assured. So it could be needless for debate with somebody where get no influence over that forces, because if those forces were under his command and control or under the command and control of a group or Marianta, they will simply deny for sign the MOU. But the fact that they don't sign them and they collaborate, it means that they just be out of touch. And this one are just desperation from the part of a man who done lost control. The next issue, maybe we go this straight.
Saw something in Ngoketunjia and Buye. The boys there, they came together under the guise of what they call unity warriors. It sounded like a good idea. And we thought it was about bringing people together to collaborate. But it fell short of that. What it essentially was about was cohesion. Trying to cohese people to come under one person. Not essentially about a group, but about one person. We do not support.
So I think when I hear, Chris Anu just be wrong. I don't know whether it be misinformed or it deliberately one for question who it work for making the lie or for put such misinformation. Maybe we do assume say it just talk out of ignorance. The fact now say the Bu Unity Warrior not be meant for one person. As a matter of fact, now the ARF forces them approach we for come together and collaborate. Something we would done the preach for long. The Unity Warrior, they under one person in command. Now a joint platform, now a collaboration platform where the two forces them for they collaborate with each other. When the one get joint patrol, joint attack, they go collaborate. When anyone even go carry on action, they go collaborate. That is all our people need. And I think say for the most part, 99% of Ambazonians then be happy with that. For Ngokitunja, now the same thing to it and happen. Our forces, they don't come together for collaborate, not before be under one person. Some person feel like he call them warrior, whatever, warrior forces or whatever. But there is just a collaboration, it's nothing else. It not be meant for create any new command chain. Not just for the boys for be able to work together as in supposed for the work together. We don't see how it translate with the ADF providing ammunition where they use them for carry out the attacks. We then neutralize 3 of the leader them for the full and the Bororo use the way they work with Cameroon military. We then see how they don't succeed for destroy the camps away those Bororo people that be use them when they come from Nigeria. This one now the biggest success we don't get them for Insango Kitunja after 2 years of complaints from the soldiers of Kitunja, how the IG group they collect money for their name, they use that money for chop 'em. The few money way then they reach for them according to it they talk. Now money way individual then way they for the IG they send for them as pocket money. We don't come for them no money for buy rice. We'll not bring them gari. We'll not bring them anything for chop. We'll bring them now the bullets and where they need them for do their job, and they don't do them just fine. We encourage all man for continue for do their part, because everybody get a unique way if you support any force. Me then continue for do them and for encourage the boy then for focus on fighting and less about imaginary stuff where they not get no relevant for their day-to-day life. So the collaboration where it don't come, it then leads to big victory. Chris Anu be against that. One for wonder why. Who is he supporting? Why is Chris Anu against things that works for Ambazonia and that works against Cameroon?
We do not support that. We do not stand with that. We support the idea of fighters on the ground collaborating in this way. Fighters in Ngoketunjia collaborating with fighters in Buye. Fighters in Buye collaborating with fighters in Ngoketunjia with.
So, way Chris Anu be stuck with, I think not just ideology, and I think we go treat it just like an opinion. Somebody way to give your own opinion them on social media. We get plenty follower them. As it always be proud about. Because if we get any control and command on the ground, for the talk for social media, you action for the affect the conduct of those forces or their behavior. But the forces them, they work in the way we be practical. So for Chris Anu, he wanna say make all soldier them, then stay for their village. And then they collaborate like wait till you talk county by county. If one get problem, he call the other one for can give them back up. But we know say that one it will maintain the soldiers in a perpetual posture where they not win La Republic. They could be isolated, they could be easily identified, and eventually Cameroon government it go plan, take it time for plan and come eliminate them like we done see them for the past 2 years. County by county, it never work. Wait till we Ambazonia they don't see them. Where they work, now say we be capable for gather forces them in their numbers, storm an area for win, carry them and work just like General Mba Ivor for the ADF, Ibididuam, for Teke and all the big victory the old and Siam. The new Supreme General Efang, he do the same. We'll see how we gather our forces. They enter for inside one place, warana for Pinyin, warana for inside Lebialem, warana for Manu. Now the capability that would Siam. And I say the work would also see even the IG people, they will be very happy for see as the demonstration of the same type of strategy will be used by no mercy, by no pity. People they will be happy for see soldier if you come off one place, go for another. It just be practicable. That is how guerrilla tactics is work. For ADF, we believe in the block by block strategy, where for every block and neighborhood, you get people where they stay for day, where them be woven inside the network of our defense. Then get forces where they not be there primarily for be the main force for fight, but now for they for wear out the enemy, intimidate them, carry out operation of opportunity, but they for prepare the ground for the nationalist force where you will be capable for gather amount of forces, amount of weaponry, heavyweight, and for bring them for that particular spot, eliminate the target. Now say the guerrilla tactics, it work, and I say the ADF na a nationalist movement, now say it and they operate. Another way it work, that is the only way we can defeat the enemy. The idea is me Oman shidong for a village, just shidong for a village, you wait, collaborate with the next door village. Now just an idea for a suicide idea where you know for help Ambazonia, it done proven to be wrong, and most of the forces them for ground they don't realize them. I think say me then just ignore this impractical advice from Chris Anu. Maybe we tackle the rest too.
Yeah, that everybody should come together in some region or community or county or LGA under one man, especially when that unity has to do with bringing in members of the ADF, fighters of the ADF.
I think say when it talk say under one man, it is surely talking about Ayabacho. That is just my own thinking. They be afraid say when so that they align under Ayabacho for them that they are nightmare. It's not supposed to be na so. We're supposed to think about which way be effective. If Ayabacho be na the effective leader, it will be pointless and unpatriotic for begin fight ye or for begin talk to me people they know align under ye if it be effective as a leader. We're supposed to even be happy so we'll get somebody where if all man align under ye, it will actually give us effectiveness for prosecute the struggle and give us a maximum chance for we for win. The whole idea for the ADF not be for bring all man under Dr. Cho Ayaba leadership. Our main objective now for be effective, for be practical. If that means that it should be under Ayabacho, so be it. It just be like people they take offense when they say ADF na the biggest force for ground. If another force be na the biggest force for ground, we go always talk and say that force be the biggest force for ground and make our people then take pride in that force. We always talk about the mountain lion as the biggest force in FACO. There is no inferiority complex in that, but there is patriotism in acknowledging strength and giving our people their pride in those forces and encouraging them. If Ayabacho be the best leader that we have, it will be stupid for us not to use him. The objective of the ADF has never been to have everybody under one leadership. It has always been for us to be effective. Whatever way it goes for that effectiveness to come, we will pursue it. But the idea that people are afraid, like Chris Anu is afraid that soldiers are coming under by Ayabacho's leadership, he should justify why it should be a wrong thing. So let us hear what he says.
Absolutely no resume of fighting La République du Cameroon is totally a bad idea, and we condemn it. We condemn it completely, totally.
So, Chris Anu, they still continue with this misinformation, and I think say it just be out of touch with everybody else. Everybody don't see how the international community recognize the Operation Hammer Blow of the ADF for Bamenda. It be the biggest operation of hand-to-hand combat that exists in our territory so far. Needless for talk about the operation, even if you know talk, say you want to talk about operation by the ADF alone, like the one where they get incursion into La République and bring back a head. You talk about even the joint attack for last 2 weeks ago together with the Tigers of Ambazonia inside the Savannah state and many, many other. It just be needless for talk about things that are so obvious. For anybody for ignore obvious truth and facts, that person lacks credibility, lacks honor and character. But let us focus on the last item, last subject we talk and then we move ahead.
That until Cho Ayaba can convince us that the ADF is fighting La République du Cameroon, it's going to be very, very difficult to trust that any restoration fighters on the ground can work with him or work with his team on the...
So, news flash for Chris Anu, this is a fact. The Ambazonia restoration forces on the ground, despite the difference in ideology, are working with the ADF. They have signed memorandum of understanding. If Chris Anu no understand, some of the foot soldiers, they actually work for both camp. You get forces when an ADF where they go fight under some one general. The difference sometimes are just the commanders or the generals. So for Chris Anu, I think it just be out of touch. Concerning where to hear the talk, say Dr. Chuayaba need to convince us. Us, I guess, it means him and Marianta and the people the way they don't leave Sako will not get no obligation for convince people them for things that will be obvious. Everybody know the track record of Dr. Chuayaba. All man know the beginning of this struggle, how they set up camps for inside Dadi, train soldiers and launch self-defense to fight against La République. All man see the work of General Mba Ivo, the work of General Efang, the work of General Sumanguru, the work of Captain Smopikin, the work of General Mbola, the work of Bushrambo, the work of Foolish Man, the work of General Cobra, the work of General Striker, the work of all you can call, talk and do, who gave his life for our country, and the countless of ADF soldiers who have been fighting for our country. We cannot debate things that are so obvious. It just makes us to become like kids. It looks like Chris Anu thinks say if he hold Ambazonia hostage until some person go come beggy or something like that, it will not happen. Make you know that if the ADF will get sense of pride enough for fight for our liberation and the dignity of our people, definitely we cannot go down that level. He should keep on ranting until he gets in mind. If he not be capable for being rational, it just confirm the obvious. Who it work for? At whose benefit is all this is misinformation, disinformation meant to help or meant to discredit? Definitely, the answer is obvious for anybody where it reason. In the meantime, we will focus on fighting against a common enemy and would advise all forces on the ground to continue the collaboration and to continue to work hand in hand for an effective prosecution of our liberation war. Capo Daniel, signing off. Background music from Spice Water. You can check him up on YouTube. God bless you. Have a wonderful Sunday.
But my hustle go pay, my hustle go pay, my hustle someday, my hustle go pay, my